Good morning, YouTube. How you doing? Alan back again. Welcome all my subscribers and of course all the Spin family out there on Facebook, Spin Space and the Daily Fidget. I have another spinner to review today, and I just recently picked this one up, and it is absolutely sexy. It's very, very nice, and it is BAM! This is the Hummingbird from MTE Designs. This one is in total titanium buttons, and it's a stone-washed titanium, and it has a nice contrast there. But of course, I will be doing some anodizing on this thing once I get this review done and published out there. So look for this thing to change its character here in the next week or so once I get through with it. But it is a beautiful spinner, very nicely designed, comfortable, no hot spots, a great R188 bearing. I do believe it's a FZ Essentials SBV2 that is in this, and it is quite comfortable. Very, very nice, comfy buttons, and it is just a beauty for sure. So without any further ado, let's go ahead and take this down to the tabletop. Let's start busting it down. Let's look at it, see what makes this thing tick, see what makes it the great spinner that it is, and we'll head on down there right now. All right, let's go ahead and get up close and personal with the Bird from MTE Designs. It's the tri version of the popular Hummingbird spinner. And the first thing you notice, and I didn't want to kind of let the cat out of the bag when I did my open, was I didn't want to mention the case just because it is a work of art for sure. You see the nice wooden box it comes in. It has Bird engraved into the lid, kind of nice. It's got a screw there that actually holds the lid on. The lid swings open, and there is the Bird. Absolutely beautiful. And it also has in the box, if you notice, there is a magnetic catch there as well as one on the back. And what that does is it lines the lid up and keeps it in place. So that is a pretty neat design, well thought out. I like it. Also inside the box, it has a felt area in the center, kind of a cutout with some felt to give a nice cushion for the buttons to sit, so you don't get your buttons marred up or anything like that. So it is nice and kind of velvety there on the bottom. So there is the box, beautifully done, nice wooden, kind of stained, just absolutely well done. It's nice to see some of these original packaging designs. They're really coming up with some creative stuff, so that is definitely good. And the spinner itself, you see it's a beautiful tri-arm design, kind of an angular arms, very nice and ergonomically designed, very smooth edges, just a beauty to spin, whether you're doing pulls or whether you're doing flicks. This thing is absolutely fantastic, very smooth, very silent, and very, very quick. This thing is just a just a beauty to spin. This is going to be one that very quickly makes its way into my everyday rotation, that's for sure. Beautiful buttons. You see this is the body is stone washed titanium, and the buttons are machined titanium, so you do get that nice contrast to it. Of course, I will eventually be anodizing this, so obviously it's going to look a little bit different when I get finished with it, but this is how she looks like when you get her from MTE Designs. Absolutely beautiful. It's got nice, deep, comfortable buttons, very similar to the Grave Raven buttons in design as far as the way they look. Concentric circles step down to the center. Fairly deep. Not nearly as thick as Grave Raven buttons, as you can see. They're kind of thin, but they are very, very comfortable. So the one thing as far as the buttons are concerned, that is the only area I can think of on this spinner, I think, where they could have maybe a little bit of improvement, is to make those buttons just a little bit bigger. You see you have a lot of room. Granted, they would overhang a little bit there, but there is room to go a little bit bigger with buttons. Maybe not too terribly much, because you don't want it to overhang too much on the sides there. It'll look kind of wonky if you do that, but you could go a little bit bigger on buttons and get away with it, and I don't think it would detract from the design of the spinner at all. So taking a look at the finish, I'll get it up a little bit closer. You can see that stone washed finish. It is beautiful. Makes it almost look like a different material from the buttons. So there is that. Beautiful design. Edges nice and rounded, and that could be from the stone washing. You see there's no hot spots, no rough edges, just absolute perfection. I love this thing. It spins wonderfully. It whether you like to pull or whether you like to flick, you're not going to be disappointed with this. And it does have a nice little other characteristic to it. If you get tired of the feel of doing it one way, all you have to do is flip it over and you're going to get a totally different feel just because of the angular design of the arms. So there is that. So it's almost like getting two spinners in one. Kind of a bonus. Beautiful spinner. Like I said, it does have an SBV2 bearing in it, which is kind of becoming the go-to bearing for a lot of people nowadays. It is a fantastic bearing, very smooth, very quiet. We get some really decent spin times out of it. I am not a real big spin time guy, although I do put the spin time up in the corner of my videos. I know a lot of people are interested in that, so I do provide that. But I am not real big on spin. I'm more about smoothness, quietness, depending on the spinner, of course, and just the way it generally feels. And this one here is definitely doesn't disappoint. MTE Designs did a great job on this one. It is nice and quiet. Let's check out the size. I'll go ahead and set it on the table, give it a spin, line it up so we can get it right on the edge there. As you can see, it's just a touch over 2 inches in spin diameter, and as you can tell if you listen, virtually silent. This thing literally makes zero noise. A little bit of whirring kind of noise, which is actually kind of soothing. Very nice. They did a great job on it. The thickness wise, if you've seen my review of this DNA X, you see there it is almost the exact same thickness in the arms. Very comfortable. Of course, this one's going to be a little bit heavier just because of the fact it's got 4 arms instead of 3. A little bit thicker in the body. You see you do have a bit of a drop down there where the button's kind of inset, whereas here you do not have that. It is basically the same thickness all the way throughout the spinner. A little bit of drop down, but the thickness of the inner body is definitely more with the X. So, and like I said, this is a press fit bearing, so you're going to have to put a little work if you want to change the bearing out. That's one thing I'll have to do. Obviously, once I do my anodizing on this, I'll have to swap the bearings out. So, won't be a big deal. I got it down pat. So if anybody has any questions, leave them in the comments, and I will get you the info on changing the bearings, how I do it. I know they make bearing removal tools for these press fit style bearings. I just use my vise and a couple of sockets, and it works fantastic. So let's go ahead and take a look at the balance on this. I'll put it on my finger, and you can check it out. The only movement you're going to see out of this thing is any movement that my hand creates. It is absolutely perfect. No noise, no vibration, just a beautiful spinner. A little bit of feedback when you change axes with it and move it around. You get a little bit of that nice soothing feedback. Nothing crazy, just great spin experience. This thing is fantastic. Not too heavy. Let's go ahead and throw it on a scale, and I'll let you know exactly how heavy she is. Let my scale reset. Didn't like that. I must have moved it. Shocker. All right, here we go. Boom. All right, we're at 0. Let's throw her on there. 39.7 grams, so just a tad south of 40 grams. I'll make an exception with this one. 50 to 75 is usually my sweet spot, but this thing is just so nice and so comfortable to spin that the weight really doesn't even affect me at all. Of course, being a titanium spinner, you got to expect it to be a little bit lighter, but it is going to be very much more durable than, say, a stainless steel or an aluminum or anything like that. It's going to hold up a lot better. So, yep, just a beautiful spinner. I'll go ahead and leave links below, obviously, where you can pick it up. Also leave links to the Daily Fidget, and also links to Spin Space out on Facebook. A couple of nice spinner communities to hang out at. You find me there quite a bit. So let's go ahead and then we'll go back up top. I'll give you my final thoughts and assessments on this one, and we'll go ahead and head up there right now. All right, sorry I didn't get to do a warp video on this one. Our weather has been kind of crappy. It's really overcast, it's windy, it's just nasty out. So eventually what I'll do is I will get a warp video on this, and I'll get it posted. But anyway, that's not even the important part. The thing about this is very, very highly recommended. I love titanium. I love the way it feels. Like I said, this thing feels a lot like my my DNA X that is in titanium. So I definitely recommend this, just like I would recommend that one. The only thing I could think of on this that might make it a little bit better would be maybe a little bit wider buttons. That would be the only way I think that this spinner could be improved. It's got no hot spots. It is comfortable. Spins great, spins smooth. It's very quiet with that SBV2 bearing in it, and a definite must-have for your collection. If you're a collector of the higher-end spinners, this is definitely one you need to add for sure. So that being said, what I will do is I will leave a link down below where you can go out to MTE Designs to get yourself one of these. May have to get on a waiting list, not sure. I know they are quite popular and they are moving very fast. So I will definitely do that for you. Also, if you could do me a favor, hit that like button down below. That would be fantastic. Always appreciate that. Thanks for stopping by Fidget-N-Style, checking out the channel. That is always appreciated. And if you'd like, hit the subscription button up in the corner there. Come back and check us out. Check out some of the other videos on some of the other spinners. I'll leave a couple videos here for you to take a peek at if you'd like. And as I say in all of my videos, do me a big favor. Keep calm. Spin on. Out.